Moses was born in a year in which the males of the children of Israel were killed by order of Pharaoh, king of Egypt. He used to kill male newborns one year and leave them alive in another year. So his mother was guided from fear to put her infant in a coffin and put him in the river until he reached the vicinity of Pharaoh's palace. So they took him to Pharaoh's wife, Asia, who asked her husband Pharaoh to take him as their son. His mother had sent his sister to track him down, and he had refused all wet nurses, so his sister directed them to his mother, to breastfeed him, and thus Moses was raised in his mother's arms as well. One day Moses entered the city and came across two men fighting. One of them was a Copt, and the other was an Israelite. The one from the Israelites asked him to help him, so Moses pushed the Coptic man and killed him unintentionally. So Moses turned to his Lord in repentance and asked for his forgiveness, so God forgave him. Musa kept waiting for what would happen to him. Then he found the man who had helped him the previous day fighting with another man, so he asked Musa again to help him, but Musa refused this time. The Copt became angry and said to Musa, "I will tell the people that you are a murderer." Musa was afraid and fled, heading out of the city, until he reached a place where there was a well, with men around it extracting water, and he saw two girls standing waiting for their turn. So Musa helped them after he learned from them that their father was an old man. After their return, the two girls told their parents what had happened. He asked them to bring Moses home, and the sheikh thanked him for his deed. One of them asked her father to hire Moses to water and herd the sheep. The sheikh offered Moses to marry one of his two daughters to him in exchange for working for him for 8 or 10 years. Moses agreed and got married. The girl. After the specified period had passed, he went back to Egypt with his family, and on his way he started looking for fire at night, and he saw a fire on the side of a mountain, so he walked to it alone, where he heard a voice calling him, and God was speaking to him, when he told him that he is the Lord of the worlds, and that he chose him to call people to worship him. Then God granted him miracles, and ordered him to go with his brother Aaron to Pharaoh to invite him to worship God alone. Moses arrived in Egypt, met his brother Aaron, and headed to Pharaoh. Moses told him that he was a messenger from God, calling on him to unite God, and he showed them the miracles that God had given him to be evidence of his sincerity, and that he would let the people of the children of Israel go out with him. Pharaoh was amazed at what he saw and consulted them. His people told him that Moses and Aaron were magicians who wanted to expel him from his land, and they instructed him to gather the magicians and nullify their magic. Moses met with the magicians of Pharaoh and threw sticks on the ground, and they turned into crawling snakes. Moses threw his stick on the ground, and it turned into a huge serpent that devoured all the other snakes. So all the magicians believed in the Lord of Moses and Aaron, because they knew that what was done by Moses was not magic, and only a prophet could do it. So Pharaoh became very angry, killed them, and crucified them all. God commanded Moses to leave Egypt at night with the children of Israel who believed in him. Pharaoh learned of this, so he pursued them with his soldiers. They overtook Moses and those with him, and they reached the sea. Moses' people were afraid because they would not be able to defeat Pharaoh and his helpers, and they would not be able to escape from them at sea. But Moses reassured them and told them that God was with them and would not abandon them. Moses stood looking at the sea, so God inspired him to strike the sea with his staff. So the sea divided into 2 halves until dry land appeared. So Moses passed by his people and Pharaoh's family behind them. But Pharaoh was arrogant and went after them, so God drowned him and all those with him, leaving none of them alive. And God saved Moses and his people.